in?
No, I think it's it's just Lance so far.
Hey there.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing well. Everyone say hi to Lance.
Hi, guys.
Lance, is there anything you want to share with the group while we've got a few moments? Anything about the retreat, the PFF student participation in the book clubs? We've been having a kind of informal chat about that up until just now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for the retreat, the kids are excited about it. Wherever it ends up being, we'll make whatever option work. Some of the kids who haven't connected at all, Martha is going to make a few phone calls tonight. I'm heading to Philadelphia Thursday, so it's definitely not and unfortunately so, and I told Michelle yesterday, there's guilt on behalf of 12-year-olds. I kind of envisioned that they would be in a lot more responding to questions. It has picked up. Folks do seem to pop in, and nothing else, it's much more social, and I think they feel the connection. So I think it's a big success, and I want to thank you guys for everything you've put into it. And we have another month yet to kind of amp that up. The interesting thing is they've all started reading. Like, that's the one thing I've gotten, I mean, at least particularly with the Harrisburg kids, is like they're really enjoying the book, but like the whole idea of following along and responding and discussing it, I think is just, I don't know, I guess it's just so foreign to them. So I think it's been a great learning experience and successful, and we'll see in the next 3.5 weeks, what kind of increased participation in the virtual part we can get. But I know they're excited. They're excited about the trip. I think they're going to be a tiny bit disappointed when I tell them we're not going to be able to stay over, but such is life.
Yeah, I think we've started, students, in the small groups are creating individual videos. We did try and do some out loud reading as a part of those videos. A couple of the groups have posted polls. And I think all of the groups, quite honestly, have tried to keep things going and keep that Edmodo messaging active, even when students on the PFF side weren't actively responding. Is there anything else that you think we can?
And we've got a newsletter coming, too.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we'll get you a newsletter this week.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Eventually today. Yeah.
The interesting thing about the video is, like, I saw it was Dimitri and I think there were 1 or 2 others that, like, hey, when's the next video coming? It's like, how do you even know about it? You haven't replied to one. So they are. It's interesting. Like, they're watching, and but it's just like the disconnect of.
They're lurking.
Yeah. So it's why we're doing this. So lots of lessons learned. I think the experience for the kids is pretty memorable, even though it's not living up to my expectations on their part.
It might be interesting next year, and I'm saying this with, or even as early as next semester, depending on how we proceed. It might be interesting to see if we can't work with maybe 3 or 4 of the teachers to see if there's some way that student participation in the book club discussion couldn't be incorporated into what they're doing in 1 or more classes.
Yeah, well, it's the one piece here, and then I'm sorry, I got to jump to see if I can get these other folks on.
Yeah, go ahead, get it set up. We'll talk more.
Well, but the teacher element to this is, I mean, that's how we initially started. It was we went to a school and you had a lead teacher, and so both in Philadelphia and now in Prince George's County, we don't have those people. So in Harrisburg, where you see most of the posts, I mean, Martha doesn't have the kids, but it's just much more ready access.
Right.
So, let me see if I can get everybody on here. I'm getting text. Porter just let me know that the conversation is being broadcast. Thank you, Porter. Yes. All right, so we have folks connected. 1 second here. I'm going to actually just re-invite everybody.
Should I close my Outlook?
And Brandon, if you're watching, I'm inviting you again. There's Brandon. Hey Brandon, how are you?
Hey Lance, how you doing?
Good, good. We're just getting set up here. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. I'm going to mute my screen and my mic and move my computer over to the projector and we're set to go.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we have Brandon Porter, the Cabrini crew. Miss Ruggi is connecting now. Our main connection is Mary. So let me make sure she has that. Hey there. How are you guys? All right, now we're cooking.
Yep. You muted. Okay, so they can't hear us. Alright guys, be respectful. Remember they're not just our class. Ms. Cobb, Ms. Schaefer, Ms. Foxell, everybody's watching it today. So make sure you represent us right, okay? I have some questions for some of you. I'll pass them. Actually, we have the questions here. They will call you up. Ajane, Sincere, Joanna, Hosea, Kylie, Justine, Ariel, and Michael. And that's it. And some of you from Ms. Z's class, Ms. Z, you'll pick them when they have time for extra. Because we just got... so when they're ready, just unmute us.
I would never mute my wife normally, but just for the sake of everybody else, I'm going to mute her class. Hi guys, how are you? So we have class in California, class in Harrisburg, and she's laughing now. So we're just waiting for our special guest, and I just sent her the invitation. So we'll get started in just a minute or two. I know we have a ton of questions, because this one really seemed like it hit home from the questions I saw, at least in Harrisburg already, and I know Mr. Brandon's class, they always have good questions. And the folks that are watching, if you want to send them in, you have the link to do so. So we're going to talk about college today, all sorts of stuff, but college in particular. And Michelle, I sent the invite to Mary, and I sent her a direct link as well. So I'm sure she's having the Hangout load up as we speak. So for the kids that are watching, I like that you guys look good today. Looks like a fun day. We have professors and students from Cabrini College on. We have Porter Palmer, Michigan, right? Michigan or South Carolina today? Michigan. Okay, so kids, that's the universal symbol for Michigan, is to put your hand up. and point to where you're at in Michigan. I'm connecting from Pennsylvania today. I'm going to Toronto, Canada in about an hour. So really cool chat for you guys today. We're just waiting for our special guest to join us. While we're doing that, California crew, unmute yourself. Somebody tell me what you're doing, what you're dressing like for trick or treat.
Hi, I'm gonna dress up as a police.
As the police? Very nice, very nice. Who else?
What are you gonna be? What are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who. LOL!
I don't know what that means.
Michigan, right? Michigan or South Carolina.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hi, Lance.
Put your hand up. So, I'm connecting from Pennsylvania.
I'm hearing two different things. Hold on one moment.
Yeah, so the speakers and your, I don't know if you have a headset or we'll figure it out here.
Okay.
You're the master reporter. What's going on here?
I think there's another window open that is
Got
playing
it.
the broadcast.
Nice.
Okay, I think we're ready.
All right, so Mary, we have, and there are people viewing this as well that are not in, which is really cool. So thank you, Porter, for posting that. We have two different kind of lead interview classes for you, one in California and one in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, great.
What I thought we would do is we'll start in Harrisburg. We have a couple just kind of anchor questions, and then we're just going to, we'll go around for 20 minutes, and they have tons of questions, particularly around college and getting into college and some of the stuff that you had in your bio. So thank you for joining us today.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. Looking
So-
forward to the questions.
Excellent. I love that. The backdrop there is perfect. So, so for the kids that are watching, the teachers that are watching in Pennsylvania, California, and whoever else those anonymous viewers are, my name is Lance with Purple Feet Foundation, and we have a chat today with Mary, who went to Temple University and then was the assistant admissions director at Chestnut Hill, and now is in Peru. And lots of questions today about college and careers and anything that you guys have. So why don't we just dive right in? I'm going to turn it over to the Harrisburg crew. So when you're talking, unmute your mic, and then when you're not, mute it. That way it'll help everybody not have echoes and whatnot. So we're going to start with Jaquan and Princess. Have a couple questions to kick things off. So guys, say hello and take it away.
Hi. Hi, my name is Jaquan. My name is Princess.
Hi, Jaquan.
Hi. Can you tell us a little bit about your career?
Yes. Right now, my title is Coordinator for International Programs in North America. So I'm working in Lima, Peru, which is the capital of Peru, a country in South America. And I've been here since January of 2014, so almost a year. I started working on English communications and marketing materials. So that's items like brochures that we give out to universities all around the world. So something like this, or even big items like this big guide to all of our international partnerships. Pretty scary, big book. And after working with English communications for a while, I started to get into program development. So now my primary responsibility is to develop partnerships with universities throughout the world, primarily in North America. So United States, Canada, and a little bit of Mexico, but mostly in the United States. So with developing partnerships and programs, the idea is to have students from Peru to go to the United States to study, and students from the United States to come to Peru to study. So we call that exchange programs, or in Spanish, it's an intercambio. And then we also try to get some short-term programs. So sometimes students can't come for a whole semester or for a whole year, so they'll just come down to Peru for a week, maybe two. And the point being that they understand more about the world, more about cultures, more about foreign languages, and in understanding more about the world, you kind of tend to understand more about yourself. So that's the work that I love to do because I've had some international experiences myself, and I really love giving other students the opportunity to have those international experiences themselves.
It's good to know that.
Thank you.
Okay. When you were our age, what did you want to do when you were growing up?
Let's see. I think when I was 12, right? 12. I wanted to be in the WNBA. And that's not a lie. And I think maybe by 7th grade, I wanted to be a rock star. And then by 8th grade, I think I wanted to be a personal trainer. So I had a lot of ideas when I was young, but this is a great opportunity when you're in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, even in high school, to explore all your interests and to really discover what makes you happy, what makes you passionate, what are you passionate about doing, and then you have plenty of time to develop those skills and transform them into a career. So I wanted to do a lot of things when I was in 6th grade and moving forward, and I didn't end up doing any of them really. But you just keep growing and you keep doing what you love and take it one day at a time.
Other than your current work, what would you like to do? Other than your current work, what do you like to do?
Other than my current work, I have a lot of interests. I do yoga. Maybe you guys are familiar with that. As I said in the bio, I like to dance, and in Peru, there's a lot of different types of Latin dances. We have salsa, bachata, merengue. There's a lot of different types of dances that are only native to Peru, like the marinera, which actually sometimes includes a horse to dance with, which is interesting. I also love to eat, and luckily in Peru there's some pretty awesome food. Ceviche is the most popular dish, and that is actually raw fish, kind of like sushi, and with a little lemon on top, some ají. I like really spicy foods too. What else do I like to do? I like to go to museums, and I just love meeting new people from all around the world and learning about their ideas and how maybe they're different than mine, but we always have some common ground at the end of the day.
How did you behave in school?
How did I behave in school? I was pretty well behaved, to be honest. I was more excited about some subjects other than others, so I might have slept during a few classes. Yeah, but I was okay. Good days and bad days, depending, right? Especially, I mean, when you're in 6th grade, I remember being in 6th grade, and you're just trying to figure out who you are. What do I like to do? Do I like sports? Do I like to be in shows? Do I like to just watch TV instead? You're trying to figure out your interests, and so it's a tough time. A lot of angst, a lot of turmoil, but you just keep going, keep smiling, keep your good friends around you, and yeah, should be good.
Excellent. Thank you guys for the kickoff questions. We're going to jump over to California, but Mary, can you show the kids? So you went to school in Philadelphia. Can you show them on the map where you're at right now?
I probably can. Yes. All right, let's take a look. I have something down on the bottom here. Can you see South America there? I have my laptop isn't exactly wireless, but let's see here. All right, so do we see South America there? I can't tell. Yeah. Okay, great. So right now I am in Lima, which is on the coast of Peru. So Peru is a really big country. It's most famous for something called Machu Picchu, which means old mountain in an indigenous language called Quechua. But what's really neat about Peru is that there's so much. So the old mountain is part of the Andes mountainous region. But Peru also has the coast. So Lima's on the coast, it's the beach, and then beyond the Andes Mountains and Machu Picchu, we have the Amazon rainforest. So it's a really what they call a biodiverse land. There's a lot of different climates, a lot of different weather in each region of the country. So it's a really fascinating place to live and to learn.
Excellent. Well, thank you. So let's jump over. We're just going to take a bunch of questions now from students. So, Mr. Brandon in California, why don't we take 3 or 4 from your class, and then we'll jump back to Harris.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Jenna from Mr. Waslocki's class. We are 5th graders. Okay, my question is, what college did you go to?
MIT.
MIT, no. That would have been fun. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. Temple University is a state-related institution, which means that it's partially funded by the state. So it's a little cheaper than some private schools, a little more expensive than some schools that are fully funded by the state. So in my state, in Pennsylvania, your state too, I think, right? Yeah. There are state schools, then there's partially funded state-related schools, and then there's, of course, private schools. And that's the same pretty much throughout the country. So from state to state, region to region, well, state to state, the price of state schools differs. I chose to go to a state school because it had a lot of options. When I entered college, I wasn't exactly sure what I would want to do and if I would change my mind. I thought that I was interested in doing exercise science. Like I told you, I wanted to be a personal trainer. And then within a few months, even before I got to college, I think I realized I wanted to change to communications. So that's why I chose going to a big school that had a lot of majors, a lot of programs, a lot of options, so that when I got there, if I wanted to change my mind, I could. There was some flexibility. And another reason I chose it is that it was affordable. I knew that I didn't want to have thousands of dollars of college loans, which is a big problem now. So it was a good school with a good reputation. It had great programs, and yeah, it was right for me. And then after Temple, I worked at Chestnut Hill College, which is a small private school in Philadelphia also. And as part of my compensation for working there, I got free tuition. So I was able to get my graduate degree for free. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have been able to pay for graduate school. It's pretty pricey these days. But there are a lot of incredible options for every student, you know, at every academic level, you know, whether it be state schools, private schools. There's a lot of funding, federal financial aid, state financial aid for private schools. So it really just depends. You'll have a lot of options and a lot of time to weigh your options. But don't limit yourself just to state schools. That was the right choice for me, but you might have some good opportunities to go to a private school as well.
And Mary, just because I'm infatuated with the map behind you right now because it looks like it has candy on it. So guys in California, can you tell Mary where you're at in relation to the red dot on the, so you see on the West Coast, that red dot, where are you guys at?
Yeah, there. The red dot. They're right there. By the red dot. Yeah.
By the red dot?
Yeah, like yeah, by the red dot.
You guys a little bit north of that?
A little higher?
It's like Irvine, California. Irvine,
Irvine, okay.
Irvine? All right, and then our other crew, we're on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. This is just really cool. We have this, I mean, I can't believe, this is just awesome that this is happening. All right, next question from California. A couple more questions from California.
Hi, I'm Raina.
Hi.
I'm from Mr. Waslocki's class. Does it take a lot of work to go into college?
Yes, absolutely.
We can't hear y'all.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it take a lot of work to get into college was the question, and the answer is yes, absolutely. You're in 6th grade right now. I remember being in 6th grade and thinking, math, why do I need this? Why do I need to know all of these complicated problems? And the reason is that right now you probably don't know what you're going to do with the rest of your life. You have plenty of time to think about your options. So right now you don't want to limit your options by saying, I don't need math, I don't need science, let me just focus on English. This is the time that you need to be developing your skills in every single area. So that way when it comes time to choose what you want to be when you grow up and what you want to do, what you want to major in, you have plenty of options. So that's why it takes lots of hard work in each subject area and in trying out different things, extracurricular activities, you know, whether it be sports, clubs, anything. And the hard work is finding out what your interests are.
Excellent. Let's take one more question from California for now, and then we're going to jump over to Harrisburg.
Hello, my name is Allison from Mr. Zlocki's class.
Hi, Allison.
I wanted to know, do you have to be approved to go into college?
I'm sorry, do you have to be, what was your question?
Do you have to be approved to go to college?
You have to be approved to go to college. That's a great question. Yes. So throughout the United States, and first of all, I'll mention, I'm working in Peru, and I get to see more and more how people from around the world so desperately want to go to the United States for an education, because in the United States, it's seen as the best place to get a college education in the world. So that's especially why you have to get approved, and especially why we're starting in 6th grade to talk about the college process. So the way that you get approved to go to college is different for some colleges, but it's more or less the same. So you have to take the SAT, which you might have heard of. It's a standardized test, something like, I'm sure you take a few state tests right now, so something like that. And there's also another option now called the ACT. Now there's some colleges and universities who are stopping that because they don't believe in standardized testing. They think it's disadvantaging some students, and it's not an accurate assessment of your intelligence and your capabilities. But as it stands now, that's pretty much the standard, that you do have to take these entrance exams. After that, you have to send in your transcripts. So that means that colleges get to see all of your grades throughout your time in high school. So not 6th grade, don't worry. But what you do now is important for what you do. You're setting the foundation for what you do in high school and for what tracks maybe you get placed in high school, if you're allowed to take an honors class, so on and so forth. So colleges look at your standardized test scores, your GPA, then they also look at your extracurricular activities. What did you do? So maybe you're not the best student, but maybe you love to be involved in student council, and you're a really good leader, and you're a really good speaker, or you love to do community service. These are all things that colleges really love, that you're an active member of your community, of your school community, of your neighborhood. Those are the things that can really help you, especially if you don't have the best grades.
Excellent. Great questions, guys. We'll come back to you for some more, but let's go over to Harrisburg if you guys want to unmute yourselves and bring some kids up for questions. I know they were having some audio issues, so I wonder if they can even hear me right now.
Okay.
All right, you can hear me, so let's hear some questions from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
All right.
This is from Sincere.
Okay.
Who's Sincere?
How do you get into college for basketball?
Okay, how do you get into college for basketball? You practice your layup and jump shot 1,000 times a day. And then you start talking to coaches around your junior year of high school. They can't contact you before then. But yeah, if you want to get an athletic scholarship, that's absolutely a possibility, and now's a great time to start practicing hard and playing as much as you can. Really dedicate yourself to something. So that's all that anything takes is time and hard work and commitment. So whether that be your math class, on the basketball court, playing the guitar, if you want it enough, you just have to commit the time and effort, and you keep going, and you believe in yourself. And nothing's guaranteed. I can't tell you right now, you know, if you're the best player on your 6th grade team that you will get an athletic scholarship, but you might as well try. So if you really love something, don't do it just because you know you might get a scholarship. Do it because you love it, whatever it is. And if you work hard enough, yeah, maybe something could happen like a scholarship. So how it all works, though, is you just do your best. You join your high school team. You always have to be on your high school team. And what's more important than that is that you get good grades. Because if you don't have good grades to match your incredible athletic ability, a lot of colleges won't accept that. So luckily, if you are involved in sports and any sort of extracurricular activities, I always think that helps your grades. Because the more involved you are outside of the classroom, the more involved you'll be inside the classroom. Because you have to be. You have to balance your time. So, yeah, so good luck. Break a leg and get me a 3-pointer.
Great question. I think that was that Sincere that asked? Who was that? Daquan, who was that?
Sincere. Yes, Sincere.
Okay, all right. Do we have another question from Harrisburg?
Yeah, nay. Our next question is, did you live on campus?
One more time? Excuse me?
Did you live on campus?
Did I live on campus? Yes. Interesting question. When I was in Temple, I lived on campus for most of the time, except for 2 semesters. One semester, I was studying abroad in London. And that semester in London is definitely what led me to where I am today. I was really interested in the international experience, and again, as I said in the beginning, giving that experience and creating that experience for other students. The second semester was when I got home from London, and I decided I would save a little bit of money and live with my parents and take the train each day, and it worked out great. So, if you can't live on campus in college, you know, in Harrisburg, in Pennsylvania, in California, there's a lot of excellent colleges all over the country. So commuting is a great option if you have to, and it saves you a little bit of money. But living on campus is another great part of the college experience. Not for the parties, of course, but definitely because you're immersed in the community and you're really making the most of each minute in between classes, getting to know, developing your network, getting to know students from all around the country, all around the world. So either way, if you can live on campus, great. If you can commute, that's also an excellent thing to do.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, one more question from Harrisburg for now before we kick it back to California. And squeeze your faces into the screen. There we go. All right, who's up? What's your question?
Callie.
Oh,
how are you?
This is from Olivia.
Was college difficult for you?
Say it one more time.
Was college difficult for you?
That's a good question. Sure. Yeah, I think it was. Probably most of the difficulty stemmed from what am I going to be when I grow up? What am I going to do? I really enjoyed a lot of my classes, and I think more than anything, college is another great time to develop your interests, to try out everything. You know, whether it be extracurricular activities or in the classroom. You get to take a lot of electives at most universities, a liberal arts core. So you're studying a lot of things like history to social sciences, science, the environment, even some math classes you have to take. So you get to explore a lot of things and expand the depth of your knowledge in a lot of fields. So yeah, there were definitely some classes that were trickier than others. One I remember in particular, statistics course with Seymour Lipschitz, my professor, who I had a very difficult time understanding. But there's always challenges, but there's always people to help. Most universities have a lot of really great tutoring centers, reading and writing centers, math centers, and I took advantage of that as much as I could. And another thing that really helped me was having roommates and friends who were in the same major, the same field that I was in, and we would read each other's papers and you know, just try to help each other out to understand concepts in different classes as much as we could. So engaging in your community. You're never alone. There's always people around there to help you and who want you to succeed.
Excellent. Let's kick it back to California for 2 questions.
Hi, my name is Kevin from Irvine, Stonegate. And what does it take to get into a great Ivy League college?
Great. Hi, Kevin. Good question. I don't know. It's it's a mystery. So there's a few Ivy League colleges I'm sure you're familiar with. You know, Harvard, Cornell, Columbia, Yale, and their admissions methods are a mystery to me, because a lot of incredible students with 4.0 GPAs, straight A's, 1600s or 2400s on their SAT or new SAT, president of their class, everything. But it's almost a bit of a lottery system in some ways. So getting into an Ivy League college, I think, is a wonderful goal to have, because I think you should never sell yourself short. You should always believe in yourself and work hard and work towards that goal. But I would recommend not being attached to it, because there are so many incredible universities in the United States. So whether you get into an Ivy League, a little Ivy, or the best state school in California, you're going to do great things, because what it really comes down to is who you are and what you want to do with yourself and where your motivations lie and how hard you work. So you very well could get into an Ivy League college, but unfortunately, I don't know how. But just keep trying to do your best on your SATs and in high school, and get involved, and I think that's the best advice I can give you. Éxitos, which means good luck in Spanish. One more question? Okay.
My name is Jai, and I'm from Irvine, California. And what had inspired you to be whatever you do?
What inspired me? All right. So right now I'm working in international education and living in Peru. So I think what really inspired me was my experience in London. I went abroad to London. That was the first time I left the country in 2008. I was a junior in high school. I was 20 years old. And I had an incredible experience. I got to go to France and Spain and Italy. I got to see a lot of really incredible things and meet a lot of interesting people. And I think during my time in Europe, London, and all of those other countries, I realized, wow, look at all these people that know so much about my culture. They can speak English. They know all of my TV shows that I watch. Why shouldn't I do the same? And that really inspired me to get to know other cultures and to get to know other people and their ideas. And then from there, I also went to Mexico. My senior year, I did a week-long service trip on the border of Mexico and California, so kind of close to you guys, Mexicali. And that's what really inspired my interest in Latin America. So after getting my master's degree and working for 3 years in Philadelphia, I had always had this dream of living and working in Latin America, and especially international education. And I was lucky enough to meet some people at an international conference who worked here. And I came down. I just took a leap of faith and continued to learn Spanish, learn more about the history of Latin America and Peru, and just the world in general. So that's my inspiration, is learning more. And I think was it Albert Einstein who said, when every time I learn more, I realize how little I actually know. That's paraphrasing his quote, but that's the truth. The more you learn, the more you realize how much more there is to learn beyond that. So
excellent.
That's my inspiration.
Thank you, Mary. So let's go back to looking at the time. We have time for a few more questions, so let's jump back to Harrisburg. Let's take 2 questions from Harrisburg.
Yeah. Ariel. Hi.
Hi.
Did you ever get bullied in college?
Did I have bullies in college?
Yes. Yes.
Bullies. Sure. Luckily, I never got punched in the face. At least not that I can remember. Yeah, I don't think I was ever hit. But I think I probably had a few bullies in college, just in class. I have this idea. No, that's wrong. I have this idea, and that's gonna happen throughout your life. You're gonna share your opinions, share what you think, and there's always gonna be someone who shoots it down and says, no, 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 your ideas are wrong, mine are right. There's always going to be bullies out there, but you just have to keep doing what you love to do, and don't let it affect you. Just as the most important thing that you can do for yourself is feel comfortable about who you are, and I think that's what I tried to do. It's always a struggle, but yeah, that's the only way to combat bullies. Yeah.
Another question from Harrisburg?
What word that begins with C describes you? Oh, what word begins with a C describes you best?
A few words that describe me best? I'm sorry.
Oh, what word that begins with a C describes you best?
Oh, okay. A word that begins with a C. Okay. Cariñosa, I think they'll use. Cariñosa. It means loving in Spanish. So.
Very nice. That's the first time we've had somebody use a non-English word. So bonus points, Mary, for that question.
Oh, cool.
We did. There were somebody, guys, Jaquan and Princess, somebody was behind you that came up that I think had a question and then turned around. Do they want to ask their question real quick?
Jassim.
All right. Yes, Jassim, come on up.
Why did you put communication as your major?
Great, great question. Well, I like to read the news, and I really love to read and write. But beyond that, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and I ended up in the field of education. And I thought, hey, communications is going to give me some really good writing skills, some really good reading skills. It's going to give me the ability to communicate, hopefully. So, yeah, it's a nice broad degree, and that's ultimately why I chose it, to have more opportunities after I graduated. And I think that's pretty common for most people with their undergraduate degrees now, is to get something that's general, whether it be business, general engineering, communications, and then when you progress, if you decide to go into graduate school, get your master's, your doctorate, you can get more specified in your career. So the reason I chose with communications is because I knew my strengths were in reading and writing, and I could also take some theater courses as part of it, which I really liked. So that was cool. And it was broad. It gave me a lot of options. So that's why I chose it.
Excellent. Great question. Let's do one more in California. You guys have one more question for Mary?
Hi, this is our last question. My name is Altaf. How many subjects are in college?
How many subjects are in college? Excellent question. Thank you, Altaf. So that depends. Maybe you're going to be a double major, a triple major. So there could be hundreds of subjects. Who knows? So what happens in college is that you have 2 years.
I think Mary's internet might have just gave a hiccup, so we'll hang here for a second. We'll see if she comes back. But that was a fantastic question to close with here. So let's give her just a second and see if it refreshes.
Hey, Lance, do you want us to answer that question?
Yeah, well, that would be great. So why don't we kick it over to Cabrini College to answer that question?
So, hi guys in California. The answer to that question is that there are a lot of different courses that you take in college, and I think what Mary was about to say was that Normally in the first year or two of college, you are taking sort of core or general education classes. So those are really all the broad subjects that you take right now in school, like math and science and English. And then as you get later on in your college years, you start to take more classes within your major. So you have the opportunity to really specialize in a certain subject that you really, really love. So if you love math, you'll get to take lots of math classes. Also in college, we have electives. And so we have subjects that you might not have in school right now, like criminology or psychology. You get to study all sorts of different fine arts, maybe creative writing. There are lots of different options of classes. So there aren't just like 5 subjects like you might have in elementary or middle school. There are lots of opportunities to take all sorts of subjects in college.
Excellent. Thank you. And for California and Harrisburg, so the person you're talking to is actually a professor in college, and they're there with college students who are in class. Maybe we can see the class. Hi, guys. All right, so it's perfect timing because and Mary had hiccup with the internet, but she was absolutely fantastic. And if you guys have more questions for her, you can send those along. Mrs. Ruggi, if you could, I would love to, because I think the message of today is, regardless of what you want to do, it's pursue your passions. You have to work hard. I mean, if you're going to be a basketball player and try and get a scholarship, you still need good grades. Like it doesn't work without them. Can you turn, and I think the focus, I just love your back wall. Is it possible to turn the laptop and see what's on your back wall? Let's give this a shot. And Mr. Wislocki, your classroom is lovely as well. I love the pennants that are cutting across your ceiling there. So focus of today, and everybody that as we're turning it, wave. Oh, we just lost the...
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry about that.
Well, that's all right, Mary. We're just giving a little tour of Mrs. Ruggi's class, and in the background you can see, I think they have like 50 different college pennants hung up. Cabrini is framed in a glass case. We don't let anybody even touch that pennant. It's right next to the Villanova one.
Excellent filler, yeah.
So, Mary, if you maybe just kind of final parting thoughts, advice for kids who are in middle school right now, who had great questions today, by the way, so nice job, guys. Final parting thoughts, of advice for them as they think about college and their future.
Yes. Do what you love, stay committed to it, and work hard in school.
Excellent. Perfect advice to close it out, and thank you for joining us so far away. This was awesome. Thank you to Mr. Wislocki's class, the students in Harrisburg that are watching in other classrooms, and whoever else these viewers are, Porter, Michelle, Seth, and the Cabrini kids. Thank you for jumping on today. It was really a lot of fun. So have a safe trick-or-treat night, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Can I call me? The red phone is to hang up. Yes. I want to say hi. Come on. That is good.